welcome to another episode of Chatty Broads with Becca and Jess.
How do we feel only having to do one episode this week?
I have to tell you, Becca, that I am tingled to the tips of my toes. This to me was exactly the display that ABC needs to acknowledge, that I was able to thoroughly enjoy this episode way more knowing that this was it for the week.
Yeah.
I savored the moments.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like, okay, well, I know tomorrow there's going to be more drama, so like just keep pushing.
Yeah.
I sat in it. I understood it. I reveled in it. I cried. I laughed.
You know, it would maybe be different. Obviously, they have to do network scheduling, but it would be different if it was like Monday, Thursday.
A little bit of a space. Yeah. Or like we said, one Monday episode that's 3 hours instead of 2.
Sure.
That would be fine. I mean, that's long. It's a little long. But 2 episodes back to back, it's just like, it's a Monday and Tuesday of your week. That's a large portion of your week.
I know.
And I liked just having Monday.
Yes.
So what I say to BIP is keep it to like what your Bachelor and Bachelorette schedule is like, one a week.
How many more weeks do we have? We've only got 2 more weeks.
Oh,
yeah?
Wow. Oh my goodness. I guess so. 2 episodes next week. And
2 episodes the week after. I was kind of like, oh my God, those 2 episodes on the last week, you know, with the holiday week and all that. I was getting a little overwhelmed, but I am getting really excited for the live finale. Is one of them 3 hours?
I think they're both 2 hours.
Okay. I thought you were about to say they're both 3 hours.
They're both like 5.5. Monday and Tuesday, it starts at about 8 in the morning, and it's just a live finale through their entire day, 24 hours just in a row.
Granted, I'm sure that the filming of the live finale was like that.
Here's the thing. They taped it a few days ago. I feel like in the next 2 weeks, a lot could still happen. So I feel like we're going to need more updates. Maybe they'll just use, you know, the contestants will use the Instagram for all of that. But I'm a little bit like, in this Batch Nation space, so much can happen in 2
Don't worry.
weeks.
Someone's going to end up on Nick Viall's podcast, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Who's telling more of their side.
I'm sure indeed. Oh, man.
There's been, I'm not going to talk about anything, but there's been, and I don't even, I don't follow any Bachelor accounts, like at all. So I really have not known anything. I wasn't able to avoid a major plot point.
It's something that, you know, I do follow the Bachelor accounts. And like I've said before, the Bachelor accounts these days are just doing such an amazing job with giving spoiler warnings ahead of time. But this was one that also I could not avoid. And I am itching to discuss this.
Oh my God.
But I also I still too want to hold off for a sec because
I'm sure a lot of people listening don't know.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm sure I don't want to, ruin anything for anybody. Oh God.
It's going to be messy.
It's going to be this finale is going to be so messy.
I'm really curious how things are going to be painted and portrayed. I'm really curious.
As am I, because what we know of ABC is that they like to take sides.
Okay.
And so whose side is ABC going to be supporting is what I'll say.
Okay. I'm going to talk in code here. Do you think the 1 or the 2 will come out looking better? It seems impossible for the 1 to not come out looking. To me, it seems like they're going to come out looking better, but I tend to think that people are going to end up siding with the 2. Who knows what the story is?
That's the thing. I don't.
Who knows what the story is?
I was beginning to see like little like someone starting to talk about what was happening at the finale, and I changed because I'm like, I don't want to know yet. I don't want to be fully spoiled. So I don't know. It really depends on, I think, how everything is presented.
What's your gut say? Who do you think people will side with? The mass majority of Bachelor Nation will side with the 2 or the 1?
I believe the mass majority of Bachelor Nation will side with the 1, and then eventually side with the 2 because you know Batch Nation loves
yes
romance.
Yes.
Sorry for the code if you don't know what I'm talking about. That's probably so confusing.
It won't take much digging if you do want to know. Yeah. I'll just say that.
Yikes.
I agree with you though completely. Like I think eventually, as Bachelor Nation likes to co-opt, love wins.
Oh my God, I forgot. I forgot about that.
So
this specific week, this one episode that we had, there was a lot of moments where, wow, did love sting. Wow, did love sting.
I don't know if I'd call it all love. I'll say that. Oof. Okay. Should we start out talking about Kate and Logan? Because that's kind of where things start.
The Kate and Logan and Hayden triangle, Becca, I loved every moment of this on my screen.
I did too.
And I've said this before, but because I am not emotionally invested, I enjoy watching the drama of it all.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, no offense, but I don't care about Hayden or Logan or Kate. So,
they're not my people. Fair. So it's a little bit like I enjoy watching the drama, and for the drama, I thank them. You know what I mean? It was incredible.
Okay, we all knew all along, right, that she was going to end up picking Logan.
You know what?
You had your doubts?
I was a little on the fence right at the rose ceremony, right before she called Logan's name.
Wait a minute.
I was like, is she about to do a Hayden switch? I knew she wasn't leaving the beach. I knew she wasn't giving up her spot on the beach and being like, neither of these people. I still cannot get over. I cannot get over the fact that
I already know what you're gonna say.
Of this, she hasn't tried talking to Alex.
Oh, that's true.
Alex is same age as her.
I know.
Has a lot of money, is gorgeous. Why is it just a Logan Hayden option? I don't understand.
I think he's a little awkward.
Okay.
Also, did you notice when he left? Did you notice when he left, everyone's just like, bye, Alex.
That goodbye was actually really sad for those who left because it was so dramatic and everyone was so relieved that Rodney was staying that I felt like the men who left, it was just like, peace out. Because think about Jacob. Jacob's been there since day one and everyone's kind of like, yeah, bye. It's like a little
They already knew everyone who was leaving. Like, it was no surprise, I think, to Jacob or to Alex. So they probably already said their goodbyes, I guess. Makes me feel better. Maybe.
I guess.
I guess it could have been possible that she picked Hayden. I could see it happening where she picked Hayden, but they kept Logan on the beach. Had a woman give him the rose to continue that drama. But I felt like between the two of them, she was way more into Logan.
Oh, definitely.
So
no, she definitely has like more of a connection and chemistry with him.
Yeah.
But as Kate says, he cannot afford an Equinox membership. So he's out of the running.
I took like 9 notes, and of course I had to write down that he can't afford Equinox.
That I immediately was Googling. I was like, how much is the price of an Equinox?
Expensive.
It's a pricey gym.
Bro, yeah,
That is a pricey
no, what is
gym.
it, like $200 a month? $250?
I saw that it was between $200 and $300 a month.
Yeah, guys, if you don't know, Equinox, it's the LA thing. It's the $300. It's the price of an apartment in most other cities.
It is so expensive. I've never set foot in one before.
No, it's crazy. I had a friend though. That one went up in Culver City when we were living there. So Gray and I took like a little preliminary tour. They are fancy. Like, we're talking in every room. They've got like little like fridges with like perfectly wrapped up eucalyptus scented towels. Like, everything is, they've got infrared sauna yoga classes. So the whole room is like an infrared sauna. Like, it is real fancy.
So it is like self-care, like the Burke Williams, the 4 seasons of self-care.
Yes, one of our friends had a membership there for a long time, and she didn't even go there very often, like at all. And I did have one friend who had an Equinox membership, and when I tell you, Jess, she lived there. She lived there because they do have like work. So she was working remotely, so she would work there. She would literally take like 2 classes a day. She would sauna there, shower there. So she was getting her money's worth.
Well, make no mistake, if I was paying $300 a month for a gym, I would also do everything I could there.
That's what you think until it's 3 months in. Then you're like, oh my God, I've spent almost $1,000. I've gotten 4 times. You like, cancel.
I'm like, no, I'd be like, okay. So I just
strategizing.
I would just like roll in my desk and be like, this is my computer. I have a big screen. You know what I mean? Can I plug it in somewhere? My printer, is that possible? Anybody, anywhere? It's just like someone's just on the treadmill next to you. It's just like,
you have your clothes on a rack.
I'm bringing the mic in. I'm like, Becca, we're actually going to start recording in Equinox because I'm paying $300 a month. No, Kate has an Equinox membership, and
she's a trainer.
She's a trainer, which costs $150 an hour.
She has a trainer. I thought she said she is a trainer.
No, has a trainer.
And at Equinox,
that's
you know they're
an
more
hour at Equinox for a trainer. If it's an Equinox trainer, that's
serious?
what I also it was between $110 and $150 an hour. So, this is a luxe lifestyle.
Come to Long Beach Rising, guys. $78 a month. My personal trainer was $60 an hour.
Oh, love that plug.
Right?
Yes.
Worth the money. Yeah.
Logan,
we don't
did
have
you hear
infrared
that?
sauna yoga. Yeah, no, that was hilarious to me.
I could not believe. Okay, before we...
What does Logan do?
He's a photographer.
Oh,
Remember, he's like a photographer, a videographer.
That explains it. He's a creative.
He's a creative,
a 25-year-old
which we see you, Logan. I see you. I feel this. Okay, but also, you can make some killer money as a videographer, photographer.
That's totally true if you have the clientele. Which she was making it sound like that might be questionable. I get it though. It's like when someone's what does she do? What does she do?
A realtor, I believe.
Okay, it's obviously she's pulling in some cash in LA, so it sounds like, right? Like if has an Equinox membership.
Well, clearly.
I mean, I get it. It's like when you are how old is she? 32, 33?
She's 33.
So I
My
do get it.
sister in Christ, I am 33.
That's right.
This woman is out here. Not only is she on the sand causing some drama, talking about her Equinox membership, she is out here trying to brand herself. She's coming up with taglines. She said that line to 15 people on the beach. She is creating her new Instagram bio. She's thinking, she's branding. She's a businesswoman. She's out here, okay? She's trying to build and grow her empire.
I do get it. When you're 33 and you're like an established realtor and you're like dating a 25-year-old or 26-year-old photographer, you're kind of like, I do now as I'm thinking about it, I do get it. You're like, I want to have kids. Like, okay, I need someone who's got like a proper career with, health insurance benefits. Like that makes sense.
I think the whole conversation with Kate, I'm like, I see this. I totally get this. Also, I'm a 34-year-old realtor who's very successful in Los Angeles.
Right. Yes. As a fellow realtor,
fellow realtor. I'm not. Okay, it's a joke. I wish. But when I was like hearing her talk, and this, especially when she initially said, we have a 7-year age gap.
I'm looking at Logan's Instagram right now, by the way. I'm listening. She said, yes.
It's a 7-year age gap.
Yeah.
So that's, that you can feel that for sure. And when she was explaining, like, listen, it's that age gap. I'm tired of being the breadwinner. I don't want to be the breadwinner anymore. I've been in that position before. And I was imagining that, obviously we didn't hear about exes of hers, but I felt like we were definitely hearing some stories.
We were feeling it.
That maybe there's a type in the past that tends to be like, like we connect, he's cute, and now all of a sudden he's
he's borrowing my car.
He's inviting his friends to spend the night at my house. Yeah. He's and it's definitely like,
leaving
I don't
his
want
beer on my counter, like
on my gorgeous
I'm
wood.
Still dealing with that.
I told him that I needed a coaster. You need a coaster on this gorgeous wood, sir. Okay. But I'm like, okay, totally get all that. Where it got so wild was the specifics of the revealing about his personal life. And then that she was like, well, what about Hayden?
Girl. Now, like she said, he's got a portfolio in Florida. Like I said, mom and dad, I think, set him up well. They got him managing some of their Airbnb properties. Next thing you know, he's got his whole little empire.
Yes, in Florida. Yes. Well, this is, okay. Also, one of the biggest things that we're missing that makes this whole thing the most jarring is that at the beginning of this episode, Kate comes back from her date with Hayden, and her and Logan have their moment.
Oh my God.
Rain.
Okay. Yeah. We didn't even talk about that.
I know. We got caught up. I got caught up in the convo.
She gets back from the date with Hayden.
Mm-hmm.
They have their whole little, which actually, okay, to both of their credit, I felt like it was actually a pretty communicative conversation. Like I was kind of shitting on them the week before, but I felt like they both did a pretty good job of expressing their feelings.
Some of my notes that I wrote is that I was like, I can't lie to you and say that with the rain pouring on them, which all I was picturing were people on the set making fake rain, like holding
yes,
it above them.
Yes.
Some poor like assistant is holding
Someone's
this
on
heavy
like a
can.
cherry picker machine. Like
They're just
shaking.
like, how long is this scene gonna last? Just dumping the fake rain on them. It's like Universal Studios just like holding up.
Who stands there in the rain having a conversation?
That was the thing. Kate is the moment and the movement, and she's like, this is my moment. This is going to be the clip everywhere. And it truly was. Like, I mean, she said it's her notebook moment.
Any normal person would go, let's just run under the cabana real quick.
Oh, I get 5 drops on me. And I'm like, bitch, we're going under. I mean, like, first of all, my fake eyelashes are off. Yeah. And I'm already upset about that.
Yeah.
I'm just an absolute mess. We're going somewhere warm and covered. But no, they were out there in the moment, getting their scenes.
The video people must have just had tarps covering their cameras. Like, what in the hell?
The other part of it is that, and I saw Bachelor Clues post about this, and so when I was watching it, I was like being really intentional watching. That conversation was one of the most obviously edited conversations we've ever seen. If you go back and watch, the way, like video and audio wise, where they cut was bizarre.
Really? I didn't even notice.
I'm not saying that it's necessarily like
they're trying to make it a different meaning. Sure. I
don't know how they could have manufactured that as much, but it's the ways that they clipped her being like, so what do you think? And then they clipped it like where he then was silent. And then she's like, well, it looked like he probably responded, but they made it look like it was longer. Like it was just so edited in like just pieces of how they wanted to get the feeling from it. Yes. It was just ridiculous.
Oh, how funny.
But the rain, the music, bravo with the soundtrack. That was some like Bridgerton, that was some powerful piano going on. And I got caught up at the moment.
Shout out to Gray's investors.
Exactly.
You guys don't wait. I haven't talked about that in a long time. You know that?
Share this.
Do you know that their names are Beth and I can't remember what her husband's name are. They have been doing the music, the scores for Paradise. They are singing Almost Paradise.
Iconic.
They do all of the music and they're investors in Gray's Gym.
It's iconic. Well, please send them my regards because that moment in the rain, it was also raining outside when I was watching it. And then all of a sudden the drama of it. When I stopped watching BIP, I had to turn on some beautiful instrumental like piano music that really like, let me get caught up.
The mood going.
Yeah. It was very romantic.
Yeah, it was. And, in that moment, they're just like, I like you. I like whatever the hell they said, expressing their liking to each other. You're like, all right, these two are set. And then the next day, then she's talking about maybe Hayden.
And this is in between when they're having their makeout. Then it moves to Logan the next day, living his truest and best life. He is exercising, hanging out with the guys, literally saying, I have no worries. It is locked in. And as a audience member, I was like, yes, Hayden, you are correct. It is fully locked in after what we saw last night.
Logan,
excuse me.
Yeah.
Logan, it's fully locked in after what we saw last night.
Definitely.
You and Kate are an official, you guys are together.
Definitely.
A quick turn of events.
Things happen fast. Things happened fast. And I do kind of feel bad for Logan because like he said at one point, he was like, I can't remember how he expressed it, but basically to the effect that I've been kind of jerked around a lot on the beach.
Yeah.
The man has.
Yeah, Hayden, I keep saying Hayden.
Yeah.
Logan has done some shitty heartbreaking on that beach. But in regards to his relationship with, I guess at first Shanae, but then he bailed on Shanae. Yeah. But then into Kate, I guess this is karma.
I guess so. Also, Haley. He started with Haley.
So, went to Sarah, all that. Okay, let's dive more into it after a quick pause, perhaps.
Yep.
Broads, listen. The difference between a house and a home is all in the details. It's about the tabletop decor that you fell in love with from the first time you saw it, or the candle that reminds you of your hometown, or that blanket that when you wrap up, it just feels like a warm hug from your friend. You know what I mean? I know I do, and I know you get it. And there's one place that just never misses when it comes to that homey decor, and that's our friends at Jenny Kane.
Here's the thing about Jenny Kane. You're right, Jess.
Thank you.
You're right.
Thank
they
you.
never miss. Guys, Jenny Kane, dude, they're inspired by the California coast. When you look at their pieces, you are instantly there. You are smelling the sea air. You are hearing the seagulls flying. Every piece, whether it's a large scale furniture piece or a woven wall tapestry, it brings you back to the grounding elements of the California landscape. But when you're looking for something big like a new bed or one of the dining tables, which are insanely gorgeous, by the way, you need those finishing touches to add little moments of luxury to your home. The same care and detail can be found throughout every item at Jenny Kane. And I know we're stressing the whole California landscape thing, but their pieces are so perfectly neutral, they could fit into almost any home.
They're stunning.
With no problem.
When I think about it, I think about that piano while Logan and Kate were kissing.
Yes, with the rain.
Yeah. Oh gosh. That's Jenny Kane.
Simple luxury.
Yes. So I've said this before, but I am obsessed with their cashmere throws. There is nothing, and I mean nothing more luxurious than binging Netflix wrapped in a cashmere throw.
Oh, that's pretty posh.
It's so good. So that would be my recommendation if you were asking for one, broads.
Guys, you can elevate your everyday at jennykane.com. You're going to get 15% off your first order when you use code chatty at checkout. Hello, 15% off your first order. That's a pretty big discount at Jenny Kane. You just have to go to pay attention to spelling, JENNIKAYNE.com, promo code chatty, jennykane.com, promo code chatty.
So Becca and I, like I would assume every person on the planet, enjoy getting rewarded, right?
Yes, I do.
Especially if that reward is for something that we were going to have to do either way, right? Well, let us tell you about Rakuten. When you do your shopping through Rakuten, you will earn cash back on so many of the purchases you already make every day. Like say you need to get your kiddo a new pair of shoes for school. Okay, fine. But wouldn't it be nice if you could get some cold hard cash back on that purchase? Or maybe it's your mother-in-law's birthday next week and you already have the perfect gift in mind. It would be just that much better if you got some cash back on that purchase. Well, with Rakuten, you can.
From clothes to toys and games to electronics, even kitchen and home essentials, there are over 3,500 stores you can shop from that are partnering with Rakuten, like Macy's, Nike, Fenty, Adidas, so many more.
So good.
And once you start shopping, Rakuten immediately begins adding your cash back to deposit directly into your PayPal account, or they'll send it to you by check. So, guys, when you sign up to shop with them, you can keep your eye out for the best deals, sales, and coupons along the way. You're going to save the most on each purchase. And can you believe that you're getting cash back in your PayPal or with a check?
It's amazing. Listen, there are already 15 million members who have signed up and are saving with Rakuten in their free app. And I am one of them now. Okay, I'm super excited to get some cash backs, especially on my holiday shopping with all the shopping that's going to be coming up. Because like I said, if you have to do it anyway, you might as well get rewarded in the process.
Yep. Visit Rakuten.com. You spell it RAKUTEN.com, or you can download the app and you're going to earn cash back when you shop at thousands of stores, and you can start saving today.
All right. Okay. So next day, not only is Kate having these conversations, Kate is having these conversations with Shanae.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There were multiple things about this, because then Jacob and Logan were also just having their chat later on, where you're like, wait,
it appears to me that everyone's really okay with everyone on this beach.
Apparently
and
so.
I can't recall a season where I remember this happening.
She's talking to Shanae about that.
She's talking to Shanae about Logan, who they were having a confrontation about.
We saw makeup. There were makeups that happened here that we didn't see. There was conversations that they didn't air because it's not drama, where it's like, girl, I'm sorry, whatever. Clearly.
It's just actually quite lovely to me to see in this stressful situation where they're like wrapping up. So it's been numerous weeks already, that everyone is really getting along really well and seeming to make up from any potential drama. And like we said a few weeks ago, when producers clearly tried to stir up drama with the the dirty room situation, nobody bit. Everyone's just trying to, I feel like, support each other, even with, and we'll talk about this later, but with the Rodney and Eliza situation, there wasn't sides.
I know, I agree.
Everyone was like loving Rodney so much and supporting him, but also then like all the women were checking on Eliza and like supporting her.
Although all Justin's friends are like still low-key coming for him. Oh my God.
Justin was the only one that was really getting kind of the shit end of the stick on this one. Everyone's just like, oh, thank God it was Rodney. I'm like, these are all Justin's friends.
Justin is just not here for the right reasons. You should just really know that, Eliza. That's like essentially what they're all
It was
saying.
pretty wild.
Oh my God.
I would like to hear Justin's take at some point.
I wonder if it'll get brought up finale. I doubt it.
I doubt it, but I would love to hear. Like, if Justin puts up a question box, broads, ask this question.
How did you feel?
How did you feel about your friends saying this about you? Why do you think they said this? Very curious.
You guys could all just bombard him and DM him, and then maybe he'll make a story about it if enough people message him.
Sad.
He's How like did you so overwhelmed. Feel? No, but I do wonder if he was like tweaked about it. Because I would be. I'd be like, I just don't know why you said that, but maybe he's also like, yeah, whatever.
Maybe he's super low key, but it felt like he was pursuing Eliza pretty clearly.
Yeah, I would be annoyed. I don't think I'd make like a huge deal about it, but I might like in conversation be like, why did you say that?
Because even at one point there was a conversation that was like, you know, Justin didn't come, like wasn't here for Eliza.
Dude,
right
I know
away.
they were saying, yeah, I know.
And I was like, but she wasn't on the beach, and then he was gone by the time she came. He came back for her, so I don't get what the.
No, I know. It was a little shady.
Well, so. Kate and Shanae having this sit down where, you know, Kate is sharing that she's concerned initially with Logan, and it makes sense. Again, all those things that she's saying at first.
Yeah.
But then we start getting into the Equinox. We start getting into the fact that he lives with 2 roommates, not 1. All I was thinking the whole time is I was like, I think he lives in LA. Mm-hmm. It's very expensive here. Also the pandemic, you know, maybe you don't want to be alone. Who knows? And then Hayden seems to have his shit together. He has his mortgage, owns a bunch of luxury.
I mean, he has his finances together. I'm not sure if he has all of his shit together.
That's the thing about it.
He's got finances secure.
That's the thing about it. She wants a man to have that provider energy.
And she says, you know, he's thrown around 6 figures for Rainbow. She throws that in.
Which... Again,
their estimation.
I think also too, that could be, there's the concept that could be the money he has and he's putting it all into Rambo. True. But it seems like they had enough of a conversation that she knows his resume.
Right. Yeah. I think that's...
Which is a very cringy conversation that I wish we could have seen.
I think that's one of the strongest things Hayden has to offer. Let's say that.
Yes.
I'll put it that way.
So... she's like, Hayden has some money, which we love. The women are all agreeing on this. So then the rose ceremony comes.
Yep.
Night of the rose ceremony.
Which, like you said, how many times are the women going to have the roses? And there be no acknowledgement of that?
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm living for the fact that they're giving the women the roses every time. I love that. Like, surprise, you get the rose again. And it's like, this is fun to always be in power with the rose. But they haven't, the fact that it's not being made more of a big deal is kind of mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, we're not explaining or addressing.
Do you think that the men are going to get the roses next week? Or do you think it'll be the women again?
It's just a new show we have now.
I think it would be hilarious if they never let the men have the roses for any of the other rose ceremonies.
No explanation.
Until it's the final episode where they do the proposals, then the men can have them, but not until.
It's just so funny. They're like, well, it's just more in our favor for drama's sake to give them the roses again.
It's just so fun.
It's funny to not acknowledge it at all, too. Like, obviously, Jesse Palmer had to at some point announce, like, well, and we haven't seen any conversations of, like, well, the women have the roses this week. Can you remember the last time where we had any of that conversation? That's all being cut out. Because it's been like 3 weeks in a row.
There's no way that there's not scenes of the men panicking when all of a sudden Jesse Palmer says at the top of the week, the women are going to have the rose again this week. And the guys, like the Jacobs of the world who don't have a secure, they're like, are you fucking... Again? Are you kidding me? Again? I don't have the rose? You know, the twins were probably like, oh God, we thought we were coming in and it was going to be, you know, we were going to have the roses to give.
I also have a hard time believing this is the biggest cast ever, unless they're going to throw in like so many more people over the next
Well, we see
week.
2 people.
I mean, next week is our last week on the beach.
The finale must
Is going to have
include
clips of
the ending, like the proposals and the breakups. It has to have
on the
that.
first night.
That would then make sense why we have a 4 hours worth of it.
Yeah, because the first night's probably going to be like the proposals and probably like sit downs with some of the solid couples, and then the second night's probably going to be all mess. Don't you think?
Likely so.
I think so too. So I'll skip Monday. I'll watch Tuesday.
Yeah.
No, but we only have one more week of like development on the beach, pretty much.
And the fact that 2 people are getting thrown in that last week is pretty wild.
What?
No, the 2 women.
Oh, I didn't notice in the preview.
2 new women. And NC and Lindsay, they're from Clayton season. And it looks like Andrew is making out with, I believe, NC, and Lindsay is enjoying Logan. And Kate is panicking. Yes! Yes, this drama is what we need.
Who gave Andrew a rose?
Jasenia.
Okay, I missed that.
There are so many couples that we are not seeing. Speaking of the rose ceremony, we're not seeing anything of Brittany and Tyler, who apparently are cruising as a solid couple. They're feeding each other.
That's
fruit.
the first couple I thought about.
We have her ITMs where she's like, "This is great. We're doing so well." We're not seeing them at all. We're not seeing Jasenia and Andrew at all.
No,
we're not even getting ITMs from them. So we have no idea.
Same with the Aussie and her guy.
Yeah, with one of the twins. We didn't see Shanae with the twins interacting at all this episode. Apparently during the rose ceremony, Shanae said that she's smitten with him.
Well, Shanae says a lot of things.
I know, but it's going well enough.
I would love to see one of the twins like have an actual relationship with one of them. Nothing would tickle me more.
I just want to take a moment. I know we're not at the rose ceremony portion yet, but to applaud the twins.
Bravo.
Who come in just, days before the ending of this show, get 2 of the ladies to give them their roses.
Bravo.
And a few of the guys, like the Jacobs, who have been around the whole time, sliding into those spots. Mm-hmm. Nice work.
It could work.
It normally never works. The last minute arrivals, we've seen it many times before. We've seen it's so painful. The McKenna, Anna last time, it's last minute, and it's so painful because everyone's established. Those 2 twins came in.
They rolled right in.
And they did it. They really did it.
The 22-year-olds prevailed. The 23-year-olds, however old they are, no one knows.
No one knows. That is one of
prevail.
That's the rumor and the mystique around Paradise, is that no one ever really knows the twins' age. It's very elusive.
23. Oh my goodness. Either way, they're so young compared to all the 25-year-olds.
So young.
An age-old story I know well of this show. An age-old story.
You're like, watch me soar, bitches. I root for the twins.
She's just so young. I'm 25 and she just is so young as a 22-year-old. There's no way she knows what she wants, but I'm 25. Okay, continuing on.
So we're seeing kind of the established couples, the couples before the night of the rose, or during the night of the rose ceremony that we're focused on. Aaron and Genevieve have a moment.
Oh my God, when he tricked her. And he
was when this
I thought he was 100% serious.
So did I. This man fully faked out all of us.
Give him the Emmy.
And was like, prank! Just
gotcha!
And
well, I was actually like, you know what? I get what he's saying. Like when I was like already anticipating that he was going to be like, it's not okay for you to like, threaten to leave or whatever. When we're in the middle of conflict.
This man fancied himself Ashton Kutcher. He thought it would be hilarious if he would punk. One of his bros was probably like, wouldn't it be funny if instead of just saying that you love her, if you like did a little prank, my guy? And he was just like, prank.
Gotcha. Punked.
Genevieve was shaking. She was so nervous. The fact that Aaron did this to her after the amount of trauma in their arguments that they went through for the past 24 hours, that he would pull this on her again.
Unreal.
And then when
so rude.
After he declares his love and she's like, oh my God, me too. And then she's like, oh my God, were you trying to scare me? He doesn't even want to go there in that conversation. And he's like, yeah, whatever. Let's just drink. Cheers.
That was 2 minutes ago. This is the now. Be present.
Remember how I told you that I'm here for the present? I'm here to, drink with my boys, get kisses from you, enjoy my time. Like, okay, maybe you were scared a second ago, but I don't want to linger on that. So like, just cheers and let's drink up and enjoy each other's company now. Okay, done. It's done. I was laughing so hard. I was like, this man pranked her regarding falling in love.
Got her.
Gotcha, bitch. What?
That's so funny.
If they make it all the way to proposals, he's going to do the same fucking thing.
Oh my God. They will.
You think?
You said no last week. I'm saying
so.
yes this week.
Okay.
I'm sticking to it.
You're going to stick to it. Well, if he does, he will.
I'm also just going off of, they were showing hands in the beginning of, like when they do the previews of the proposals.
They were, but I do remember that I believe it, I could be wrong, so apologies if I'm wrong, but I believe Katie Morton posted, someone said, was this Katie's hand?
Oh, damn.
From last season. So they were using clips, I think, from last season to mess with us.
That's smart.
Very smart. Because whenever they do that, I'm always like, we could figure this out if we wanted to.
That's
if we were
smart.
sleuths.
And she said it confirmed it was.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, so interesting. I won't go off of that then.
But you believe that they will...
I do.
Do you think he's going to propose, or do you think that he's going to say, let's leave?
He's going to propose.
Okay. Well, then I will say the one thing that I feel confident about is if they do make it to that final sand, that he will prank her again. Now, the question will be, what's the prank? Is it that he's about to break up with her and then he's like, psych, here's a ring instead. I love you, babe. And then proposes to her. Or will he get down on one knee and be like, just kidding, I think we should just date.
Don't you remember when Dean
pretends to fall.
No. Remember when Dean got down on his knee with that one girl and presented her with a key to his apartment?
Fully forgot about that.
I just had that memory right now.
What an iconic moment in Bachelor history, which, by the way, him and Kaylin are engaged.
Oh, are they?
They were posting the sweetest videos.
Oh,
congratulations to them. I fully forgot about that.
Yeah. That's really cool. We were talking about that. I was on.
Yeah, you went on their podcast, right?
The show
with I Suck at Dating.
Yeah,
with
Jared and Dean. I love Jared, and
so it seems like a sweet.
But
guy.
It was funny. Dean was like, it was actually kind of like a therapy episode where he was like, well, how, like, what, why? He was like, why are you guys engaged? And he was like, how do you feel about that? And I was like, well, and I was just kind of like telling him my thought process. And he was like, okay, like I get that. Like that makes sense. Cause he's saying something and I was like, well, what's cause I guess he was sort of like against marriage. I was like, what's the difference? Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, you could say what's the difference between getting married, but what's the difference about not getting married? Mm-hmm. You're still like, you've committed your life to this person. Mm-hmm. So, that's so exciting.
Yeah. So sweet.
Okay.
It's been really cool to watch their journey.
He would not do that.
Aaron.
That's just cruel.
I know he wouldn't. I'm just imagining because he's in this prank mode.
I think he will punk her and pretend that he's going to break up with her at the proposal.
Okay, for sure. I know he would not do the fake fall and look like he's getting down on one knee and actually like trip to like tie his shoe or something like that. But I think he's going to punk her in some way. Let's be real. Those two.
I think they're getting engaged. I do.
All right.
Are they still together? I don't know. I think they're getting engaged on the beach.
Really, only the present now will know, because even if we get the that
was 2 weeks ago.
The footage, yes, but by the time that we actually see the finale, it might have changed by then
2
too.
weeks,
Who knows?
A lot can happen.
Maybe they were broken up and they saw each other. Maybe they were broken up and saw each other at the finale taping, and they fell back in love, and maybe they're back together again now. Who knows?
That's true too. They might have seen each other at the finale and changed their mind after.
Apparently, they were all partying and stuff after too. So, Lord knows.
Lord knows they could be. Yes, that's an excellent point. Shit, what was I gonna say? I don't remember. Let's keep going. I had some thought about them though, or about someone getting engaged. Okay, we'll continue on.
Well, then we have a moment.
Oh, I know what I was going to say.
Yes.
Speaking of breakups, did you see, it was so funny to me, like, remember last week when we played the clip of Eric and Gabby with the sound clip of her talking and dancing with the stars?
Yes.
And then now, like 4 days after that, all the news outlets are like, oh, Gabby and Eric are broken up. And then I was like, oh, did either of them make a statement? No, they were just reporting from that clip of what she said.
Oh,
Isn't that
really?
odd? Yes.
I thought I saw a thing that Gabby broke up with Eric.
It literally is just when I've clicked on any of, I mean, they might on a Bachelor account, it might be different, but like People and like E! News and all of that were reporting on it. And their only thing they were citing was that clip of her talking at Dancing with the Stars.
Really?
Yes. I just looked yesterday on the major, I mean, granted, of course, there's Reddit and Reality Steve, and there might be more info, but all of the major outlets were reporting their split just based off of that interview.
That's wild.
Isn't it?
That's really wild.
I'm like, that seems like...
Yeah, maybe I imagined. I thought I saw like
you might have
a statement. Maybe I didn't. There's already there's always so many breakup statements in Bachelor Nation that I totally could have imagined.
You might
something.
have. There might be more info, but the major outlets were reporting based on that interview. It seemed a little ballsy, no? Because they were like split confirmed. Like those are the title.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought that was odd, and I wanted to bring that up. Anyway.
Okay, so I have to tell you, my most favorite part of the entire episode was the moment when, before the rose ceremony, Kate asks Hayden if he wants to have a moment together.
And then she's making him play fetch? She literally play fetch?
Threw the ball and said fetch, and this man chased the ball.
Oh my God.
When she pulled out the, underneath the pillow, the tennis ball for Rambo, I was like, wow, that's a good move for her. Like, she's like, here's a toy for your dog.
Yes.
And I thought it was going to end there and he was going to be like, wow, that's so sweet of you. And maybe they'd kiss, or maybe like, I don't know, there was going to be a moment. And she takes the ball and literally says fetch, throws it. And he looks at her for a half of a second. And this man takes off and does her bidding and chases a tennis ball as she's yelling, don't get struck by lightning, don't let it go in the ocean. That was, to me,
icon moment,
one of the most incredible moments of television that we've seen on BIP. She threw a ball and he chased the ball. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
He wants to be a golden retriever.
Would Logan do that?
No. And not because he'd be embarrassed by it, but because he'd just be too high to get off his ass and go chase the ball. He wouldn't even notice it. He'd be like...
She'd take a rocket launcher and she'd be like, chase this!
And he'd be like...
huh? Did you say something?
That is, like she said, aloof was a good word for it. His aloofness is not attractive to me.
It's shocking to me watching him on the beach because he so never struck me as aloof.
I know.
On Gabby and Rachel's season, he seemed very present.
He wasn't high.
That might be what it is.
I literally think
it has to be, because the man, I mean, unless he's literally so tired because he came straight off of Gabby and Rachel's season, got COVID, and then went straight into this.
No, because the high thing I'm actually not even kidding about, because they really like grill into you when you go on The Bachelor. Like, you can't bring anything, like even Advil and stuff. You have to check in with the nurse, yada, yada, yada. So I think everyone's usually like buttoned up on their best behavior. And then as we see with BIP, everyone realizes that no one cares, because even when I was filming The Bachelor, the producers would be hitting wax pens and stuff. Like, no one cares. And B, it's like easy to sneak in or bring whatever you want to, and you're already like chill after coming off the season. You know the lay of the land in terms of how production goes.
Right.
We've seen it time and time again. Like, people coming on the beach on, like, you could tell they're like on Xanax and shit like that. And you're like, all right, people are way more relaxed about their I think feel more relaxed about their own drug usage on Paradise.
That makes sense.
And
then.
I actually think that probably is a big part of the difference.
Because Logan and his ITMs on Gabby and Rachel's season was like
Sharp.
Mr. Like, he was like the joke guy. He was
the
always
THC was leaving his system.
He was throwing out all these like, these like funny little comments, and now he's just kind of like, yeah, here we are.
Yeah, that's that.
Paradise.
I really think it is that. I think that it's just, he's just hitting a vape pen.
Wow.
So,
well,
by the way, yeah, the People article, yeah, it says the split was revealed when she said the couple was focusing on their individual goals while competing on the Dancing with the Stars series. Yeah, that's like what they're citing. Of course, Rachel, did you see Rachel posted a story with Gabby of like whatever she said, like, back to whatever she said that said that they were both single. But otherwise, there's been nothing else other than that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the other, before the rose ceremony, the other thing that we saw was the Rodney and Eliza and Justin moment.
Yes, that was rough.
It was so
rough. By the way, I was definitely wrong about, obviously, Justin. It showed in this episode that both Justin and Rodney knew that she was still trying to pick out from the both of them.
Right,
that was
right.
obvious. Yeah, I felt bad.
This was one of these moments where it was like the first half of the episode with the Kate and Logan and Hayden thing, it's just like all silly fun. And this was like very real and very hard to watch.
I didn't feel that bad for... Not that I didn't feel bad for Justin, but I just didn't feel like Justin was that devastated over it. And no. I totally understand the feeling that she was feeling of like not wanting to hurt him. But I was like, he's going to be fine. Like he'll be all right. He'll bounce back. He was here for like 2 days. He already got sent home once before. His friends are
corroborating that. Yeah,
he'll be okay.
Yeah.
But then when she started getting I immediately said, I don't think it was difficult to see. She immediately was starting to get the ick for Rodney after she sent Justin home.
I know. And it was what was so hard to watch, specifically to me, was when I was like processing everything, was the moment when Rodney pulls her aside, and this man is doing everything he can to do what Eliza had said would make her feel seen.
Yeah.
So when she had told him last week, when she had told him last week, like, hey, this is for myself, I need you to just like, be assertive and be like, hey, you're with me, you're mine, I don't want you to go. And Rodney then had been processing all that after. And when he sat with her on that daybed and he was just like, first of all, like, I want to say that I'm so sorry that I put you in this situation, which he didn't put her in, but he was literally just like being so like present and listening to what she had said to him. And I keep going back to the fact that he said everyone on the beach felt like I was reassuring her. I felt like I was reassuring her. And instead of him getting stuck on that and being like, see, everyone thinks so, he didn't even like let that sit in his heart. He literally was like, well, even though everyone thought that and I thought that, Eliza didn't feel seen. So I'm going to do exactly what she said is going to make her feel seen. And he went out of his way to sit on that daybed and be like, I want to be with you. I want to make this happen, and gave her all of that. And it was just a moment, even in the midst of all of this heartbreak, where I was like, this is a beautiful moment of someone really listening to what a person that they love is asking for, and not being defensive and being like, well, everyone says I did it, like truly hearing someone. And that was beautiful, even though this was painful.
So sweet. And it would have made me even more icked out.
What do you mean?
As her, she immediately was like, oh, no, it's not on him.
Oh, you mean because you think that she was already like done?
Immediately when she gave Rodney the rose, I saw the ick. She was like immediately like pulling back, and then him being all sweet and he wasn't doing anything wrong. But when he was like getting all pep talky with his friends and was like, I just have to show her every day that like I was the right decision. She was just like, ugh. He's like, oh, where's my girl at?
She was. It seemed from the night before.
It's just so hard. I've been in the position where the guy's so sweet and he's being so nice, and then he's being really intentional, but like him being even more intentional, but you already know you're over it, is even more like, and then they're trying to like kiss you, and you're like,
I know, but then it's on that individual to be like, we're not going to work out, to not then like string on the person.
I don't think she strung him on. I didn't feel like she strung him on.
What do you mean though? Then if you think that she had the ick,
I don't think she knew like right when she gave Rodney the rose. I mean, I think she knew deep down. I think like she said the next day, I think she was like, maybe I just need to process.
Yeah.
And like grieve letting go of Justin.
Yeah. I don't know. When I was watching it, I didn't see like so much of the ick on the like when he was declaring all those things.
Yeah.
I felt like she was there and like felt good. But then she had that conversation with Justin Justin did the gummy bears. He was being super like, I also listened to you.
I didn't think she, no, I said, I think she felt the ick when she gave, like right after she gave, oh no, because did she talk to Rodney that night after she gave him the rose?
No, not
okay.
He gave her a big hug and was like, you're mine, I got you. And then she right away dismissed herself.
That part. Yeah. When she gave him the rose, that's what I meant by rose ceremony. I felt like right when she gave him the rose, she started getting the ick immediately.
Gotcha.
And was like, oh fuck. Like, and I don't think she fully like she said, I think she still felt like she was processing losing Justin. But I really do feel like the moment she chose Rodney, she started getting like a little.
Yeah. It was like in that moment when he was declaring all those sweet things to her, like I felt like she was there. And she seemed like
you're talking
grateful.
About cocktail party, yeah.
I'm talking about before the rose ceremony.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, I'm bouncing all over the place right now. But that he was there for her because that was when he first was like, "Hey, I just want you to know I'm being super intentional with you." And I, and that's where I was like, "Wow, that's so so powerful."
I don't think she had the ick there. No.
And then
I agree. I think that's why she chose him because she was like, "Okay, he's intentional. He's." Cares about me.
Right. But then we have the moment then with Justin after where Justin is intentional for Justin. He brought the gummy bears. He was like, I'm listening. I think we saw Justin be the most intentional he's ever been.
Totally. It was exactly what she said the next day when she was ending things with Rodney. She felt the pressure to pick Rodney because everyone was like, Rodney's an amazing guy.
And I will say,
and he is an amazing guy.
He's an amazing guy.
From what it seems. So.
Well, I mean... we've never seen anything of the sort where the entire beach is literally like, which by the way, let me just say this. I do not understand how production made Zach the Bachelor seeing the reaction on the beach to Rodney leaving like this. It makes no sense. Rodney was the one who everyone wanted to be the Bachelor instead of Clayton, and then they chose Clayton. And now on the beach, everyone's obsessed with Rodney. They know the audience is going to be obsessed with Rodney. Why Zach?
I think they really, granted they just make like weird random decisions with The Bachelor, but I do think that they really thought they were going to have like a Rodney love story because there were so many women that were going to on the beach for Rodney.
No, I know, but I'm saying I think while like they chose The Bachelor, I believe after Paradise Wrapped. So they saw this reaction. That's why I'm saying, I'm like, what? You're not like, this isn't the obvious choice. Rodney is the perfect Bachelor. This man is ready to get married. Everyone's in love with him. The audience was going to be obsessed with him. They all wanted him to be the Bachelor last time. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why?
You're right.
Give us Rodney.
Well, yeah.
They already filmed Zach's season, but can you imagine if all of a sudden after seeing the reaction, they were like, well, we're going to change it. Sorry, Zach, we're scrapping your season.
Whose season did they do it? Didn't they do 2 back-to-back Bachelorettes?
Yes, they did. Maybe
who did they do again? Katie and Michelle.
Maybe they would do Zach and then Rodney.
Maybe they would. The only thing that I can think is that, interesting. Very strange.
It makes no sense to me.
It was totally finished.
I believe. I'm like 99% sure that it was done. And then they decided on The Bachelor. What the hell? You know what I mean? What the hell?
Wow. For shame.
Before we dive more into Justin and Eliza and Rodney, you want to take a quick pause?
Yes, let's do it.
Broads. Okay. I know that the holidays are supposed to be all merry and bright, but let's be honest, they can also be a lot of stress. Okay. There's a million reasons why the holidays may actually be a little less calm and quiet than you'd like. But one way to counteract that is by getting good sleep. At least that's what I found. And I'm talking like the best night's sleep ever. For me, that all started with some fantastic sheets from Boll & Branch.
The reason that Boll & Branch sheets feel so much better than other sheet sets is because of the threads they use. I know it's been drilled into our head that it's the quantity of threads. But really, it's about the quality of threads that's going to make the difference. Boll & Branch uses the finest 100% organic cotton threads on earth. Oh my God, you can tell when you get into bed each night. Their sheets are so soft. They somehow get softer each time you wash them. I'm not exaggerating when I say that.
No, that's seriously the biggest difference for me, because usually sheets are their softest right out of the package, which is so deceiving because you wash them once and it's like sleeping on a totally different sheet, but not with Boll and Branch. And if you know someone who could use a little rest and relaxation this holiday season, Boll and Branch sheets also make an amazing gift and even come wrapped and ready to give in their like gorgeous signature gift box.
Love.
Too. So fun.
Give the gift of a better night's sleep with Boll and Branch. And right now, our listeners get early access to their Black Friday sale, not sailor. With our promo code, you get 25. Okay, guys, this is a huge code. You get 25% off your first set of sheets and free shipping when you use promo code chatty at bollandbranch.com. That's spelled BOLLANDBRANCH.com, promo code chatty. The offer ends November 27th, so take advantage of it. 25% off your first set. bollandbranch.com, chatty.
That's a great deal. Okay. So there's no question that everyone wants to be eco-friendly, right? I mean, I hope so. I think we can all agree we want to help the planet and produce less waste, but sometimes it can feel like we can only do so much. Recycling, sure, no problem. Use less water. Okay, I can do that. But someone told me to compost a few months ago and I was like, I don't really know how. I don't have a farm. You've lost me, okay? Turns out you actually can compost anywhere now, thanks to Lomi. This is incredible.
I've been researching Lomi for a long time. And then when I heard they're going to be our advertiser and you're going to send me one, I was like, oh, hell yeah.
It's amazing.
If you live in an apartment or in a smaller space without access to an outdoor area, or if you even do have, we have our whole backyard at hand. This is such a great addition to your kitchen. Okay, guys, with Lomi, anybody can compost. It turns food scraps into dirt in under 4 hours. So like we have a composting system in the backyard, but even so, being able to that quickly process something is incredible. This tiny little countertop device, there's no smell. It runs so quietly. Not only is composting great for the environment, but you'll have way less trash each week, which means less waste in the landfill. And then you also have this incredibly rich dirt that you can use for your houseplants, like for anything.
I was blown away when I used it for the first time. I was like, this can't be real, right? It is. It's incredible. Also, because it's small, you can put it on your countertop in your kitchen. You also, like, I know certain people who have it like in like a little, in their like laundry room area or in the garage. I mean, it's so easy to use. It's so user friendly. And if you want to start making a positive environmental impact or just make cleanup after dinner that much easier, Lomi is perfect for you. Head to lomi.com/chatty and use promo code chatty to get $50 off your Lomi.
That's $50 off when you head to lomi.com/chatty and use promo code chatty at checkout. Food waste can be gross. Lomi is your solution. With the holidays just around the corner, Lomi makes the perfect gift for someone on your shopping list also.
I was just blown away by Lomi.
Amazing.
Wow.
Amazing.
Okay, so back to the love triangle. So Justin is super intentional, and then they start making out. And Rodney is like telling everyone before the rose ceremony, like, it's good. They had this great conversation. And then he sees them making out. And the devastation on this man's face, he's literally bent over the bar, just like aching. But then during the rose ceremony, so, everyone that we thought was going to be, except the twins, Flo and Justin, and then Shanae and Joey, that was a surprise. Kate goes for Logan. And then Rodney is chosen by Eliza. Everyone is so relieved.
Oh, yeah.
What did you think in this moment? Did you think that she was like, oh, she's going to stay with Rodney? Or, okay, no.
No, like I said, when she gave him the rose, I was like, because she, like you said, she excused herself right after. It was. I told Gray, I said, I think she's going to pick Rodney because it's like there's a lot of peer pressure involved.
I felt like everyone was being so awesome and encouring and like supportive.
Yeah, I don't think everyone was like, you have to be with him.
But of course, when everyone on the sand.
He's the right choice. He's an amazing guy. We love him.
We had a montage of, I think, half of the cast being like, Rodney's the right choice.
She better pick Rodney. And I'm going to die if she doesn't pick Rodney.
That would be definitely a factor, of course, in your decision making where you're like, oh my God, like everyone's obsessed with him.
He's the popular guy.
And I really like him, but I maybe feel a little more drawn to this person. Maybe I'm just getting caught up in the moment and this is the right choice.
Also, a lot of people, like we were joking about them being semi-shady to Justin, a lot of people were literally saying to the ITMs, which I'm guessing they were saying also to her, of like, Rodney's more serious. He's the better choice if you actually want someone who's ready to settle down. That's essentially what they were saying. So I also imagine that the girls behind the scene chatting are just like, you know, you got to pick Rodney. And like that seemed like that was the vibe with everyone.
And also, let me make something...
Genevieve hates Justin. So there's that too.
Let me make something very clear. You know, if I'm on the beach, I'm saying Rodney's the right choice.
Also, if I'm like Eliza, I would be so influenced by everyone being like, this is really the guy you should choose.
I'd be saying that if I was someone on the beach too. I'm like, Rodney is an unbelievable human who is so over the moon for her.
Yeah.
So gracious and loving. And it's like, Rodney is the guy who, if I had any friend who was like on the fence with someone and I met the someone and it was Rodney, I'd be like, you're on the fence because you're not thinking about how we're talking about forever right now. This is the type of man who you marry, who is an amazing husband and father, who sticks with you for the rest of your life. And I would be one of those people.
This is what I want to know though. Like, is there something, is it just how wonderful Rodney is that Justin's like in his shadow? Or is there like something about Justin not being that serious that we don't know about that because they're his friends they know about? Because like I've said, I've been pretty like not flustered by anything Justin's done. So I feel like I'm just surprised more people aren't being like, but but who do you feel more attracted to?
Well, I would imagine it's maybe one of a few things.
Yeah. Well, actually, she did have a conversation with someone where she was like, I feel things strongly with Justin. Like she is having those conversations.
Yeah.
So.
I would imagine the friends of Justin's on the beach or the people on the beach, they've all partied together.
Totally.
So maybe Justin's a little bit of a partier and maybe there's, and they've all had conversations with both. So if you see someone who's like, I'm here for a good time, and Rodney's like, I want to meet my wife.
Yeah.
And you see, even there was a moment where the next day after Eliza gives Rodney her rose, he's sitting down with the men and he's, without her present, talking about how he's ready to step in. This man was not like, because I think we see this a lot on the beach where the person who's competing, the one who wins, all of a sudden gets the rose and then sits back and is like, well, I got it. And so now I'm going to coast. This man went into full gear. Like he got the rose, and to him, that was just the beginning of how he was going to show her how much he cares about her. And he's having a conversation like that with the men at breakfast.
Sure.
Like, I'm here for her. I can't wait to show her how I'm here for her.
I just don't get again though why the people were saying like about Justin, like, oh, well, he wasn't even here for Eliza. It's like you said, it's like, well, he left before she got there and then he came back for her.
I don't
know.
Maybe there's the behind the scenes chatter where it's like, this guy just seems like he wants to have a good time. He seems like a great guy, but it's not a Rodney situation.
Yeah. But also, how old is Eliza? She's pretty young.
25.
So I'm just also like, maybe Eliza's not looking to be like wife and mom right now.
Maybe not.
It seemed to me also, okay, I also thought things weren't going to last with Rodney because then when I was watching Justin leave, I was like, oh, she feels bad about hurting his feelings, but she's just more into him.
Yeah, that was definitely the vibe when he was leaving. And he left very graciously.
Yeah, he did.
He was
a gentleman about it.
He lingered. The man lingered.
Totally, of course.
He gave himself some extra seconds there, like, you gonna change your mind? Are we gonna have a kiss? Or what's gonna go on?
Mm-hmm.
But no, she definitely was in a space where when she was saying goodbye to Justin, it was like, oh, you are really attracted to Justin, and there's definitely chemistry there, that's for sure.
Justice for Justin. I do think that Justin could be a great...
I think Becca would be such like a Justin stan. I love Justin all about it.
I do think like he could be a great... I think I don't see any reason why he couldn't be... Okay, granted, I see all the reasons why people are saying Rodney could be like an amazing husband. But Justice for Justin in the sense of like, I think he could make a really great boyfriend and husband if he finds the right girl. And like you said, we saw him more intentional than Eliza when we have with anyone else. So I feel like if he's got the right girl to motivate him, I think I feel that way too. I feel like kind of starting to feel that way about Justin, because I feel like people would say the same thing about both Gray and I, but it's like about each of us individually.
What do you mean?
Like, would be like, oh, she's not that serious about like finding a husband, or like he's not that serious about finding a wife. But it's like when you find the person that motivates you, like I think Justin would be a great husband.
I think he'd be amazing husband. And like we were saying, we saw that he became very intentional with Eliza, and I feel like he's been great throughout this entire Paradise experience, even with all the drama that happened. I feel like he handled everything extremely well. And I don't know. I don't think that people were like saying that he wouldn't be.
No.
I think it was just when you compared
They're so obsessed with Rodney.
The Rodney and the Justin of it all, when it came to seriousness, it was like, okay, Rodney is all in. All in and so ready. And again, I think it's probably relationship outside of the show too, where it's like we see how, Rodney operates in the world, and he's like really ready and wanting to get married. And also, like we saw later, everyone was like, we never thought over in our wildest dreams that we would see Rodney cry. They're like, he is the light of the beach. He makes everyone feel wonderful. We never thought we'd see him cry. And that's then why everyone's bawling, because Rodney's so upset and they've never seen him like that before.
Okay. Immediately as this episode was playing out and I'm seeing her, the way she's feeling about Justin, I was like, oh, this is why this is why Brandon and Serena are crying.
Oh, 1,000%. Right? No, it's just the second Rodney started crying, everyone was like, was upset. Everyone on the beach was bawling. And it was like a trigger effect that everyone one person, Kate started crying, Brandon started crying, Serena started crying. Everyone was just losing it.
Oh my God.
Because especially too, I would imagine, everyone's tired, right? But he's clearly the love of the beach who keeps the energy going.
It was really sad because you saw him for a very long time being all hyped up in the morning before she came down. And who knows how many hours that was of them having him have conversations with everyone about how excited he is.
He was bouncing around the sand, bouncing around. He was so overjoyed. Sad. It was devastating. Devastating. Now, in then the conversation with Eliza and Rodney, where everything is ending. Listen. I feel like I'm devastated for Rodney. And again, we talked about this last episode, but I definitely feel like throughout the past 3 episodes, there are a lot of moments where I'm like, this feels like a test. And I don't think that was the right call, Eliza. Like, I wouldn't have done that. I don't think that was a great, but also trying to understand, like, okay, they've all known each other 2 or 3 days. Yeah. You have 2 people who are so over the moon about you, like, what, and you're interested in both of them. Like, what does that situation really look like? And in this specific moment then with Rodney and Eliza, I think a lot of people, again, we talked about it last week, were giving Eliza tons of heat for how everything was handled. And again, wasn't loving all of like the choices or whatever. But
how did you feel about this week?
I was heartbroken for Rodney, but I also was a little bit like, I kind of get it.
I thought she handled everything fine this week.
I don't think she should have given Rodney the rose and then changed her mind in 24 hours or less than that.
I think what she said made so much sense, though. She was like, I thought I was still processing, like, sending Justin away because she had to pick between 2 guys she really liked. So I thought what she said made total sense of, like, I felt like I just had to have a minute to process and grieve with Justin.
Yeah.
And then I think, like she said, when she woke up that next morning and then having Rodney be like, what's up, babe? And her just being like, I felt like all of that was so normal.
Yeah, I felt like
I could see myself being in that same situation.
2 weeks before, where there was kind of like the test thing. That's where I was I didn't like that. It's not my vibe.
I didn't like that.
I think with that carried into it, that's still kind of what makes it painful, where it was like, oh, that was thrown out to Rodney of like, hey, you haven't done this for me. And then he started to, and then it was like, actually, no.
Yeah.
That's what makes it, I think, really painful because then he stepped into it and then all of a sudden it's like, actually, never mind. And that's painful. But this week, when it came to actually feeling like, oh, everyone really likes this guy and I feel like maybe this is the right decision, but then feeling like, oh, I don't know how I feel about it anymore. And again, knowing people for less than a week.
Yeah, I didn't feel like she did anything wrong this week.
I'm devastated that she gave Rodney the rose and then said no.
Yeah.
And pulled it away and then went to Justin. That's devastating to me because if she would have given it to Justin, maybe producers would have done a Michael A move and been like, here's another rose for you, like a miracle rose. And then Rodney could have met the 2 new women coming in next week. That would have been amazing. And so that really was such a bummer. But I am glad at least that she didn't lead him on.
I think it's a tricky situation because I don't think she knew how much she felt about Justin until he was gone. And I think that's one of those things you just can't always know. It happens on The Bachelor all the time, you know? It's like someone... And then they're like, oh, now that you're gone and you're not around me, I'm realizing how much I actually liked you.
Where I was like, no, was in the conversation when she was explaining to him why. And she shared that it was basically because she kind of felt pressured to because everyone likes him.
Oh yeah,
I was like, no, let's not.
See that night.
It's already painful enough.
Yeah,
you know, he will be able to receive what you're saying if you just say, I think I like Justin more. I'm realizing I'm like Justin more than I thought I did, and that's where you have to leave it. Not like, oh, I didn't even want to be with you, and I felt pressured. Like that was a moment where I was like, oh God, no, don't say that. He's already hurting enough.
Insult to injury. Yeah. A little too much honesty.
And then we had it was too much honesty. Sometimes it's just, you don't have to share everything.
Just omit.
And we then see Rodney have a moment that is such a powerful moment of self-regulation where he's processing all this. And Rodney says, what is it that Justin has that I don't have? And then stopped himself and goes, never mind. It's okay. A moment, a master moment of self-regulation, because you know all of us have been in a situation like that before where we're getting our heart broken.
We see it on The Bachelor constantly.
And we all want to know. Our ego, obviously, we all want to know what in the world is it that this person has that I don't have. And for him to then stop himself and be like, never mind. Just never mind. Was amazing. So much emotional maturity. And then he just was like, I hope you have a good life, and left. It was heartbreaking.
Bye.
It was rough. And then he goes back, the whole beach is absolutely losing their mind. One of my more favorite things though is as the beach is sobbing, you see the twins in the background kind of standing there awkwardly because they don't know Rodney. So everyone's in a big pile, like, just like a cuddle puddle bawling, saying how much they love him. And the twins are just like kind of shifting on their feet a little bit like, yeah, we love you, Rodney. Don't know him at all.
Bye, Rodney.
Like they maybe spent 2 hours in his vicinity because they were on their date. Literally. You know what I mean? Like they don't know this man at all. And they're like, bye. Okay. But then again, like we had said at some point earlier in the episode, it was really lovely to see then all the women. And I thought this was a great moment of Aaron too. Aaron said, Genevieve, are you going to go see Eliza? You got to make her feel good. She's going through some stress. It was a sweet moment checking in to make sure Eliza's okay. They're like trying to be the power couple on the beach. Now he's like, Genevieve, you should go check on Eliza. I'll stay here. I'll man the troops over here. You go check on Eliza.
We're solid over here.
We're solid. But
give her some
advice. It was really, I thought, a powerful moment in the midst of the absolute devastation of heartbreak with Rodney, of seeing the women, and especially like a Kate who is clearly so attached to Rodney, like rubbing Eliza's back and being like, this isn't your fault. Like you do what you're doing, what you need to do. And everyone being really supportive was actually so shocking to see on this beach.
Yeah.
And then we get the cameras in the airport showing up at Justin's house.
Yeah.
To be continued.
I can't wait.
What do you think he's going to do? You think he's going to say sure or no?
Yeah, he's going to say, yeah, I think so.
Probably, right?
Yeah, I mean, if she's literally immediately turning around to go and get him, like, yeah.
What would you do if he was like super like cold?
Oh, I'd be like, I'd go off on him next week at our episode. No,
I don't think he would be.
No, he was really sweet to her when he was leaving, so I'm assuming he's going to be psyched. I'm excited to see.
I can't wait to watch his facial expressions through her telling him that everything that happened.
Yeah.
He'd just be like, huh? What? Huh? Before we wrap, one thing I did want to address.
What?
Because we flew by it and it does need to be said.
What?
When Kate gave Logan the rose, which I was a little shocked by, before she hands over the rose.
Oh my God. I can't believe we didn't talk about this. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't believe we forgot to talk about this. Yeah, no, thank you for bringing it back around. Oh my God. What'd you say? I'm going to need more from you?
She's holding the rose, like dangling it above him.
Can you give that to me?
There's definitely something here, but I need more. Can you give that to me? Will you accept that?
That was unreal. That was the point. Okay, that's the part where he says, like, I've been kind of like jerked around in his ITM where he was like, that was fucked up.
That was so sad.
I was actually like, no, girl, you've gone too far,
in
Kate.
front of everybody. I'm like, that's a private conversation.
And he said, okay, now I'm remembering that's in his ITM where then he goes like, everyone's saying things that they like about each other. And read his quote.
I'm confused. When you give someone a rose, normally you tell them why you like them. I don't feel well liked by Kate.
I think that's extremely accurate.
Well, you keep hearkening back to what their future would look like, and I feel like that's definitely that moment of her holding the rose back from him and saying like, I'm gonna need more. Will you do that? Was definitely the energy that you've been saying that what their future relationship would look
divorced
like.
PTA couple. Yes. No, Kate, you go too far, girl. Sometimes, I'm loving what you're bringing, and then sometimes I'm going, all right, you're taking it a little too far. This is not nice.
It was the in front of everyone for me.
I know. It was a little humiliating for him.
He just looked
embarrassing.
Like kind of like a wet
dramatic
dog. Just accepting the rose, like, just like coming out of the rain.
Like, I'm all for women empowerment or whatever, but I'm also sort of like, okay, at this point, Logan should really be granted, he was so low energy. Okay, he was really low energy with all that. I also, though, feel like Logan has a right to sort of be like, I'm going to need more from you, Kate. Do you really want a relationship with me or not? What's the deal here?
There was the moment when they had their in the rain where she was like, you need to tell me how you feel because you were being so aloof, which is true.
Yeah.
And then he did, and then she goes, that's nice to hear, or like, thanks for saying that, or something.
And he's like, you're not going to say, I know.
Hold on a second.
I know.
You're going to make me say all this, and then you're not going to say anything? Like, no, you need to say something too. And then she did.
And then the next day, she decides to go
on
try
a
to
date with Hayden,
figure
or
things
like
out with
Hayden.
And tries to, maybe I want to be with Hayden. And then she has the audacity to say, Logan, I need more from you. That's where I'm like, okay. This is... Kate, this seems like it's coming from an unhealthy place. You can't always be in control of the outcome of the relationship.
What I get
You can't always be holding the reins.
What I'm getting from Kate, and I could be very wrong with this, but I am feeling like with Kate, I am watching someone who is a reality TV expert.
Yeah.
And is going to have the romantic moment, the empowerment moment, the betrayal moment, the breakup moment. Like, let me tell you, when Logan goes on this date next week, or at least it looks like he's going on a date with Lindsay next week, the drama Kate will bring us is going to be a 10. Like, this is someone who knows reality TV, and I think is taking every moment, like, knowing what's going to end up on screen. And because of it, she is getting a lot of screen time.
Oh my God.
A lot of screen time.
Oh my God. I mean, you know who she reminds me of, actually? She reminds me of season 1, Love is Blind, blonde girl. She was the guy that was younger. She was the guy that was younger. Oh my God, you'll remember her. Hold on. Hold, please. Hold, please. You're going to immediately know what I'm talking about.
Oh, Jessica.
Yes, Jessica.
Jessica. Yes, she has Jessica energy.
And you know what also?
Yes, she has total Jessica energy. And it was kind of the same conversations with it was Mark.
Because he was younger and
I
the
think Mark ended
finances.
up cheating on her after the show ended. It's a Logan Kate situation.
Because I keep imagining
it's a Logan Kate situation. You're totally right.
Imagining that Kate's house is probably. Remember when we saw Jessica's house and she had like this beautiful 5-bedroom. Everything was decorated perfectly. Her bed
Nothing
was
out of place.
made. When she was talking about Equinox and I have a personal trainer, I'm picturing Jessica is the one in the morning. She's got her green smoothie. She's always at the door at 7:20. She's got her hair all done. She gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning to walk the dog.
Yes.
Blow dry her hair. Do her makeup. She has everything the way she needs it. And to me, that's part of what comes out in these type of relationship dynamics with Jessica or with Kate. Needs a little bit of work on the relationship part, because that control freak, that type A that is serving her in other areas of her life, helping her be a successful businesswoman. Remember, Jessica's all about her businesswoman shit too. Helping her be a successful businesswoman, have a beautiful home, have a life that's flowing perfectly. You got to let go of that control a little bit in a relationship. Otherwise, it's going to come back to bite you in the ass.
I can't believe that this reference is so perfect, because now I'm thinking about when I think his name was Mark.
I think I
think it was Mark, yeah. That when she went then to his house and he had a roommate, like a Logan, right? Literally, and he had a roommate and she walked in.
It's all flooding back to me.
And she walked in and she was like, oh, you guys live in here?
No, it was 2 roommates.
Was it 2? Oh, you were right. Oh my God. Wow, what an incredible reference. 2 roommates, yes, because they were like his besties.
They went out and bought beer and brought it back. Yep.
Wow. Spot on.
Granted, with Jessica and Mark, she was really trying to force something, and I don't even think she had any chemistry with Mark. What is a little difference here? Kate and Logan, they definitely have chemistry.
Yeah,
they have a thing.
Do.
She is into him. She's not just trying to force something for the sake of a relationship, which was kind of the vibe with Jessica after it didn't pan out with the one who's engaged or married now. Don't remember his name.
Oh my gosh, what was his name?
Good season.
Well, great season.
But anyway, it's a little bit different because Jessica was kind of the extreme.
And him and that girl
are
still together, by the way.
Oh, of course they are. Matt Barnett.
Barnett.
Yes. Okay, yeah, his first name's Matthew. Matthew Barnett. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, they're married.
Been together for a while now.
Good for them.
We love to see it.
Oh my God, yeah, because that was filmed in 2018 or something crazy like that when it came out
for a long time.
2020. Oh my God.
Well, wow. Lots of ups and downs. Amber and Barnett.
Oh my goodness. I'll never forget the 2
season
of them.
1. Wow.
Woo.
So fantastic.
Oh my goodness.
So fantastic.
Anyway, with that reference, yeah, that's the
energy for sure. Wow, that's so spot on. So spot on.
We'll see how
well, I am itching to see the new women come in.
Yeah.
And like I said, it looks like Andrew is making out with one. Looks like Logan's going on a date with one.
I want to see I do want to see Logan really being into another girl. I want to see what happens.
But then in the preview, we also see Rachel and Gabby are showing up on the sand.
Oh my goodness.
And Logan's panicking. He's like, I have 12 exes on the beach right now.
Oh my God.
I've dated all of these women. And then they have their special prom. They have the prom night, the typical dance.
They don't have to do that.
But I do love the prom night. I feel like there's always I like that at least there's it's a variety of clothing and for my eyes. My favorite my favorite moments are typically when they have the parties that are offsite.
You don't think that they'll send in some new women for the prom? Well, I mean, obviously they're doing it with the dates, but that's when things were really sad for McKenna and.
They're bringing in the 2 new women. It looks like right before the prom.
Get to go on dates though, like the one that goes on with Logan, and then who is the other one on a date with?
NC on with Andrew.
Okay,
I believe.
So I hope that they get a little screen time for their sake after being held in a hotel for a month or whatever.
So true.
For them. All right, well, I can't wait for next week.
Cannot wait.
Oh my God! Wait! 2 big announcements. One, Gray and Jess will be doing their wife swap episode. If you haven't listened to Evan and mine that came out
that was
last
really
week,
fun.
we had a good time, or earlier this week on Tuesday. Gray and Jess's episode will be coming out Tuesday. Also, we have a merch drop, our final merch drop that we had to do, coming Thursday. Next week. Super exciting.
Yes, well, this is dropping on a Thursday, so in a week from today.
Yeah, next
in a week
Thursday.
from today. Okay, perfect.
Chat soon.
All right, broads, chat soon.